Is up, everyone? Just here reacting to TZYU getting absolutely destroyed by MERTAZLIEV, a guy who I had no idea about heading into this fight. I thought that maybe this would just be like a bounce back for TZYU, and I just barely had time to turn the fight on to witness the first knockdown that MERTAZLIEV had landed on TZYU. And I was just shocked because I thought this would be an easy fight for TZYU. I thought this was kind of like a layup for him, a bounce back after he. But no, I was absolutely wrong. He just got absolutely bullied and beat up by MERTAZLIEV. People were saying that TZYU was going to get early KO. Bro, I love combat sports. Dude, same here, man. It's definitely been a night of things not going exactly how we planned or what we thought. TZYU gets dropped once, dropped twice, and a third time to end the round. And I mean, a lot of people were saying in the live chat that like he would be able to come back. No, he was not. Officially, the time of the stoppage goes down. A minute 55 seconds into the third round. Got to give credit to TZYU at least because he fought. He was trying to make it back into this fight, but it was to no avail. He got absolutely fried up, finished, and I'm just like looking back at the screen because MERTAZLIEV is still in there talking. Yeah, no title defenses for TZYU. The fact that the ref gave a penalty count was fucked. Yeah, and even was like, hey, one more knockdown and it's over. Impressive performance from MERTAZLIEV, a guy who I had no idea of heading into this contest. Never heard of him. And, geez, he fucking absolutely batters and destroys TZYU. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. TZYU is definitely a guy that before the Fundora fight, we thought he was going to be like a long-reigning champion in the division. At least I did. He was out in the third. Yeah. Thanks for all the support all day, bro. Yeah, dude. You covered everything I was watching today. I wasn't really watching a lot of the boxing events that took place earlier in the day. But yes, it was a good night of fights. I was just shocked. I was shocked to see TZYU get knocked out in this fashion, in a way where he never... I mean, this wasn't even a fight. This was just a beatdown from start to finish. TZYU got fried up, and... I mean, wow. And now we have a new champion in the weight class, 154, which is MERTAZLIEV. Man, did not expect that at all. What is up, Kobe? Good to see you, my friend. Good to see Ganskow in here as well. Everybody's just kind of filing in now. Yeah, this was fantastic to see. I love when we get a good upset in boxing. And TZYU kind of looked like he'd be a long-reigning champion before that fight with Fundora. And I kind of gave him a pass in the Fundora fight just because it was such a vicious cut that was bleeding so bad that really started all the problems for TZYU in that fight. So heading into this one, I was like, oh, here he comes. And he's actually up talking to the ring interviewer. So good to see that he's up and doing all right. But yes, the corner throws in the towel, which was definitely the smart option. TZYU didn't have a hope or a prayer in this one. And it showed, man. He got fried up. Another thing that happened on the night, I think, we'll talk about Francis here in a little bit, but was the UFC. Let me pull that up really quick. The UFC card was all right tonight. There wasn't a lot of finishes. In fact, I think there might have only been one finish, but a couple of fights that I just personally want to highlight. Of course, the main event. Look, I've been watching fights since 2 p.m. my time. It's now 8 o'clock at night, 8:30. So a good 6 hours I've been sitting here watching fights. Actually, you know what? I've been watching fights since about 1. So a good 7 I've been watching fights. But this main event, I didn't watch it super, super close. The fight was Anthony Hernandez versus Michelle Pereira. Let me get that up here. So what is up, Joshua? Joshua, do you think Brian Bauer versus Jacob Smith is going to happen? I don't know, and I don't care at all. So yeah, in the first round, Michel Pereira like appeared to hurt Anthony Hernandez to the body. Um, and I thought that Michel was on his way to an early knockout, which I had officially picked. I was going back and forth on this fight. I thought that Anthony Hernandez could outlast Michel Pereira. That's exactly what happened here. After about the first round, um, he just ran away with this fight. Really, the grappling, the strikes. I mean, Anthony Hernandez is really a complete mixed martial artist. I don't think that I don't think that Michel Pereira necessarily is, though he has the skills to compete at a high level. Um, he made it. He had some good wins at welterweight. Ultimately missed weight a bunch of times and had to move up to middleweight, which he looked like a fucking phenom heading in. But that was against lower level guys. And when he went up against a guy like a complete guy with a gas tank, the decent striking, but really just like phenomenal grappling. He got worked. He got worked like a summer job in this fight against Anthony Hernandez. Very impressive for Anthony Hernandez because the ultimate deciding factor to me was the fact that Anthony's sorry, when you have two guys that you think the fight's close, and one guy is like more physically gifted than the other, I always say like, go with the more physically gifted. But I did originally have Anthony Hernandez to win by decision, but no, I should have went with that original pick because Michel just kind of gassed after the second round and wasn't able to put up much of an effort. And by that fifth round, he was done enough that when Anthony Hernandez put on the gas and just started going for the finish, he got it. So opened up a big cut over him. They stopped the fight. Didn't have any problem with the stoppage. King's World, what's up, man? He says, Skate, do you think Ferreira got serious brain damage? He looked shook. I'm going to go ahead and say no, but define serious brain damage, right? Like, you even see with, like, Alistair, a guy who's been knocked out so many times. Though he was able to fight after he got knocked out by Francis, and appears to still have very clear, like, speech patterns, you know that bill is due for the damage that he has taken throughout his career. Now, this is Renan Ferreira's first time, I think, being knocked out in that fashion, but I think he'll live on to fight another day. The stoppage was a little bit late. You could see that Ferreira was limp and flat on the ground at the time of the stoppage. But no, I'm going to say no. I think that Ferreira will have some more fights. But again, as far as that bill being due for the damage you do take inside the cage, if it doesn't kill you, like some people have died in professional fights, you'll pay for it later in life. Just look at Gary Goodridge, what's happening with Shane Carwin right now. But yeah, and I'll get to that. But some other things that happened on this card: Rob Font gets a decision win over Kyler Phillips. Kyler Phillips looked good in the first round. Second and third, Kyler just kind of gassed out. Didn't have that dynamic striking that I'm accustomed to seeing from him. And Rob Font just like ran downhill on him, man, with the boxing and the pressure. It was fantastic to see Rob Font get a win. I picked Kyler Phillips in this fight, but Rob Font on 3-fight skid, getting a win. How could you not be happy for him? Charles Johnson had a fantastic fight with Sumaderji. Charles Johnson appears to almost finish Sumaderji in the first round. And some people were saying it should have been stopped, but ultimately they put on a fantastic fight. Sumaderji goes for a sub. That's the end of round one. The second round was competitive, but Charles took it. And then I think the third round was in fact a Sumaderji round where he put on some chokes. He hurt CJ at times, but CJ does get it done, winning 2 of the 3 rounds. Cameron Smotherman had an okay fight with Jake Hadley. This is a very long fight. I think the fight was like 25 minutes in total, or maybe more because of all the eye pokes, fouls, low blows. Cameron Smotherman taking the 5 minutes for one eye poke. Then he low kicks Hadley. Hadley didn't have it tonight, and it just, I don't know. I don't know about picking this guy anymore. It's always a tough fight when you pick, or a tough decision when you pick Jake Hadley to win a fight, just if you're gonna bet on Jake Hadley in the future, my advice to you would be don't. But Cameron Smotherman gets his win in his debut. Then we had a sick fucking fight with Darren Elkins and Daniel Pineda. This fight was insane. It was grapply. It was scrambly. Lots of blood everywhere. Darren Elkins just fucking opening up huge cuts on Daniel Pineda's face. I officially scored the first round to Elkins, second round to Pineda, and then ultimately the third round to Darren Elkins. But the thing is though Elkins is washed, and so is Pineda. There's a term that I've used for Darren Elkins fights, and it's you got Elkins. And what I mean by that is just the pace that Darren Elkins puts on is something to behold. He out Elkinsed this guy so hard that he retired after the fight. That's the craziest pace. That's how crazy the pace was that Elkins put on this man, is that he said, "Know what? No, I got out Elkins. I'm fucking retiring." What do you want to see from the Rise 128 fight companion later on? Good fights. I love kickboxing. Where's Hank? Trouble in Paradise? No. Hank streamed for 8 hours today. He's the man. The damage going to end up with CTE. I think he already has CTE, Pulse, I would argue. I mean, just listen to him talk, you know. He said he's going to continue on fighting. I'd like to see him go out on a loss or on a win. But it's another guy the bill's going to come due for you one day, man. And I think it's going to come for Darren the Damage Elkins sooner than later. But this fight was fucking sick, man. 145 pounds, two legends going at it. Fucking this fight had it all: grappling, striking, blood, submission attempts. So yeah, go back and watch that if you missed that. Asil Mabayev has a largely lackluster decision against Mateos Nicolau. Just largely out grappled him. Looked good in spots. Not much of note happened in that fight. Gian Matsumoto versus Bracatona was an excellent fight. Mostly just a kickboxing match, but there was some wrestling involved. Bracatona's fun. Gian Matsumoto's fun. He remains undefeated. This was another fantastic fight. Jocelyn Edwards versus Tamiris Valdel. Jocelyn Edwards gets a third round choke. Good for her. Elise Reed and Jessica Penne had a fight. Melissa Martinez almost stopped Elise Ardeline in the last round. The doctor or the referee called it a low blow. They played it on a replay. It was a clear body shot that hurt Ardeline. She gets a win. And in the first fight, Robelis de Spain, the big booper. He is not able to land the big boop and gets out wrestled by Austin Lane. And I knew this was a possibility, though I did pick Robelis to get a first round knockout. But I'm just happy to see Austin Lane have a similar matchup to the last time he got knocked out. And instead of getting knocked out this time, he stays on the grappling and he gets a decision win. Good for him. Was good to see. Let's see here. He can add a D to the end of his name and be the Damaged. Yeah, I agree. I totally counted him out in this fight. So it was just good to see him get a win. It surprised me. But as far as what's next for the Damage, I think that he should retire. Go out on a win, but we know what this is. He'll never do that. So we'll get into probably the biggest thing to happen this weekend. Francis Ngannou came back to MMA today, and he took on Renan Ferreira, a giant man, a mountain of a man, really. And let me get this pulled up. Jeez. Oh, here it is. Let me tell you. The fight started out with some low kicks. I had not anxiety, but this had a big fight feel to it because, let's be honest, it's the lineal heavyweight champion. The guy when it comes to heavyweight mixed martial arts. Coming off of that loss to Anthony Joshua, looking good against Tyson Fury. And then his last UFC fight against Cyril Gane, former teammate, Quite a lot of questions after that vicious knockout. how would Francis Ngannou look? Would he come in reckless and just throw hands like he did in the fucking Jairzinho Rosenstrike fight? What would he do, right? All I knew is there would be a first round knockout. And let me tell you, Francis Ngannou comes out there, he throws a leg kick. Renan Ferreira throws a leg kick. I go, shit, these are some big boys. I'm like, when is that shot gonna come? When is that shot gonna come? That big left or right hand from Francis or Renan. No, the shot came in the form of a takedown. Francis Ngannou out grapples Renan. Renan gives up his back. Francis Ngannou lands some vicious ground and pound. Finishes Renan Ferreira in the first round at 3.5 minutes in. Did Ferreira even throw any punches? He did throw like one or two. Where he got taken down and finished. The referee stopped it a little late. You could see that Renan Ferreira's body had gone limp. And Francis wins. But you can just see the outpour of emotion after he wins. This man had a lot of pressure on him heading into this fight. A lot of people counting him out, saying he's going to get slept, saying he was a bum after he lost to AJ. He shows why he is that dude in heavyweight mixed martial arts. And it was fantastic to see. I feel so good for Francis because I'm a big fan of him. And he did the damn thing, man. And honestly, I think that a lot of PFL's success was riding on the heels of this fight. Now, if Renan Ferreira would have went in there and knocked out Francis, I wouldn't have been surprised. I was telling all you guys the same thing on the preview show. I'm like, hey, look, he's been knocked out, so now we know what it's like to see Francis get knocked out. If he gets knocked out here, don't be surprised, right? But man, I think that this was if Francis would have lost to Renan, it would have been somewhat good for the company. But the fact is, they're paying him so much money as a commodity inside of PFL. I truly believe that if Francis would have lost viciously here and retired, like, yeah, Renan Ferreira, the guy who knocked out Francis, the lineal MMA champion, I think it would have been bad for the company. So this kind of saved the company in some ways, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, now the question is like, who does he fight next? I was saying before the fight that this is like a lose-lose situation for Francis. If he goes out there and he knocks Renan Ferreira out with like the first punch he throws, oh look, Renan Ferreira was a bum all along. If he goes in there and he decisions Renan Ferreira somehow, look, Francis went the distance with his bum. If Renan Ferreira would have went in there and knocked out Francis, look, Francis is a bum. You know what I'm saying? I think that this showed incredible fight IQ from Francis. Instead of choosing to stand and bang with Renan Ferreira like he did with Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua in some ways, obviously those are boxing matches, he says, no, what? No, fuck this. I'm the lineal MMA champion. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to take this fucking guy down, ground and pound him. Dude, this was the most impressive way, in my opinion, for Francis to win this fight. I truly believe that. And the question, as I said, is who's next for him? Your guess is as good as mine, guys. I know that Isha is crying for the Feel the Free fight. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. The PFL needs more big-name fighters. They can't just have one star and nobody for fight for them. It's definitely a problem that they're having. Definitely a problem that they're having. Their welterweight to lightweight divisions or featherweight divisions have some good names. But other than that, man, the heavier weight fighters inside the PFL, I have little to no interest in, unless their name is Francis Ngannou. But yeah, I mean, as far as a matchup for Francis, I mean, give me your thoughts. Feel the Free, obviously. I personally would love to see him fight a man that he's sparred before in kickboxing. And that man's name is Rico Verhoeven. I know it'll never happen, but that's a fight that I really wanted to see. There was a time where I was like, dude, if Francis beats Tyson Fury, he's the lineal MMA champion, the lineal boxing champion. And I was like, he needs to go over to kickboxing, fight Rico. And Then he's the lineal kickboxing. I mean, come on. He fights Blob Tang. Maybe he's the lineal Muay Thai champion. Hey, what's up, SS Jackson? Good to see you, man. But yeah, you know, as far as who's next for Francis, man, I mean, give me some ideas because I think it'll just be like, I think they're in the midst of their playoff season, aren't they? So whoever wins the heavyweight playoff, I guess. I don't even know anything about the PFL. The next fight was Chris Cyborg versus Larissa Pacheco. Chris Cyborg was an underdog heading into this fight. It's a fantastic fight. Close rounds, not a close fight. What do I mean by that? I think that Chris Cyborg, besides the first round, she largely won every round. There was competitive moments inside of the rounds, but Chris Cyborg took most of the rounds, in my opinion. She looked fucking fantastic. Looks like she hasn't really lost a step. Larissa Pacheco did fuck Chris Cyborg up in that she was bleeding, had fucking huge welts on her face. Nonetheless, Chris Cyborg gets it done. Larissa Pacheco, I don't think loses stock from this. I think her stock may have even rose a little bit from this fight because of how competitive it was. Some people were saying it was a robbery. Anyway. Johnny Edlin, Fabian Edwards had a really boring fight. This fight was really boring too. But the fight I really want to talk about is Paul Hughes winning a split decision over AJ McKee, which is bullshit. It should have been a unanimous decision. Paul Hughes, holy shit, man. I did not know anything about this guy heading into this fight. Never seen any of his fights. Just knew he was a big-time signing for the PFL. He shows why, man. His nickname is Big News, and this is definitely going to be big news in the MMA world. He largely dominated AJ McKee in the striking and in the grappling. AJ McKee had some moments, nothing really big, never really hurt Paul Hughes. Paul Hughes hurt AJ McKee multiple times in this fight, knocking him down at the end of the first round. Fantastic shit, man. I love the sport, man. I love the sport. MMA is fun. A lot of things happened tonight that I didn't see coming, but that's what makes it fun, right? Is when we get these things that happen that we never saw coming. And it's kind of like skateboarding, you know, it's like if I just landed every trick that I was trying to do, skating would not be fun. It would not be fun. It's fun because it's hard, and it's hard to predict fights and see how they're going to go. So Paul Hughes, though, he's that dude. I'm very excited to see what this kid does next in his career. He's still very young. And I think it's good for him to be in the PFL. Do I see him sticking around for a long time? Not necessarily. It sucks that AJ McKee lost this fight before he ever got a chance to go to the UFC. And against a guy in Paul Hughes that's largely unknown to the casual MMA fan. But yes, Paul Hughes is that dude. Incredible striking. The knees were crazy. He's fast. He has good grappling. Paul Hughes got it all, man. Sick to see this shit. Hippo says, after this fight, I think Cyborg would probably have fucked Kayla up. Maybe that's why they kept her from that fight happening. Yeah, dude, I agree. Wholeheartedly. Kayla Harrison has incredible ground game, but I think she proved in that Ketlin Vieira fight. Ketlin Vieira was like her toughest opponent outside of Larissa Pacheco. And, I mean, to be fair to Larissa, though, it's like on a different night, she probably could have beat Cyborg. But Cyborg is that chick, man. She's fucking one of the best, I mean, top 3 women's fighters of all time. I would like to see her. I mean, she's in the twilight of her career. I don't know what's next for her. I think she wants to fight out these last 2 fights and then probably just go box. Or I think she has one more fight in her PFL contract. So I'd like to see her just go box or go back to the UFC. I mean, I don't know. The UFC kind of treated her like shit, though. So, but anyway, man. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Because, listen, I am doing a fight companion tonight for Rise. Some good old-fashioned kickboxing. As much as I love MMA, I love kickboxing even more. I think it's the most action-packed, exciting sport, combat sport that there is. So yes, that's going to be at 2 a.m. Here in about 4-ish hours. So I got to get ready for that. Might even take a nap or something. But if there's anything else you guys want to talk about for the next 10, 15 minutes, we'll talk about it. If not, I'll get the hell out of here. And you'll see us guys tomorrow. Both Hank the Tank and I tomorrow. I think that No Chill is going to do the fight companion with me. If he ever fucking replies. Talking to him now. One thing that was interesting is that like every promotion decided to put on a card today and yesterday. One Friday Fights was sick too. Ponpayak got fried. It was kind of a bummer to see him not fight for so long and then come back and basically get a gift decision. But yeah, man, this weekend was fantastic. It's still not over. We still got tomorrow. If there's some regional MMA promotion happening that I can cover tomorrow, let me know if you guys want me to do that. Isha, I know that you streamed a lot today. You were thinking about doing Rise. If you want to hop in at any point in my fight companion, let me know. You're always welcome here. Ganskow, he did some work today. You guys go sub to Ganskow's channel. It's just Anthony Ganskow. Look it up. Sub to his channel. He's doing fight companions. But yeah, we're going to continue our show. We're going to continue to do our thing over here. We're giving you guys almost 7 days of shows a week. Tomorrow will be our breakdown of the weekend, a little more in depth. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the weekend in general in the comments or whatever. But looks like that's the end for me, man. I'm going to get ready to do this Rise fight companion. I'll be up all goddamn night. Oh, Bukaw fought this weekend. He boxed. That was sick too. Let's go. Sanchez fighting tomorrow morning. Rise is going down. There's still more to watch. And UFC 308 next week. We're just blessed as fight fans, man. But yeah, I'm out. See ya.